What's up? I'm Joe. Guys, I'm a water baby. I've been in love with swimming all of my life, and so when I was in Hawaii, I spent as much time as I possibly could swimming, snorkeling, scuba diving, and surfing. Swimming is right next to climbing stuff on my list of favorite activities, and for the longest time I couldn't really explain why, until I saw the 1963 Disney classic, The Sword and the Stone, which is over there, and I wanted to use it as a prop, so let me just go grab that. The Sword and the Stone. Merlin turns himself and Arthur into fish. And he says to Arthur, "You are living between two planes now, somewhere between the ceiling and the floor. There are lots of ups and downs, like a helicopter." That made me realize that the reason I really love swimming is because it feels like I'm flying. Whether you're above the water or underneath it, the normal rules don't apply anymore. Buoyancy is suddenly more important than gravity. Sound travels better but gets all distorted and weird. It's just a totally different world. Oh, by the way, Merlin's spell to turn Arthur into a fish? Aquarius? Aquaticus equalitus quum. Aquadigitarium! That is some epic spell casting. Let's compare that to Harry Potter's spell to make himself amphibious. Oh, he just eats gillyweed. Which is cool. That's cool too. That's nice. Okay, look, all due respect to J.K. Rowling, but they don't make incantations like they used to. I guess there's a reason they still swear by Merlin's beard. Oh, and before I let Harry off the hook here, let me talk about his dive in Goblet of Fire real quick. Now, Ron and Gabrielle were down at the bottom of that lake for almost an hour. We don't know exactly how far they were down, or exactly how deep the lake is, but we know the lake is deep enough to house a giant squid, which are 44 feet long sometimes, and have a natural habitat of like minimum 1,000 feet. Also, the sun was completely blocked, which means you're down pretty far. And Harry, like the Gryffindor hero he is, cut them free and dragged them right up to the surface, saving their life. Straight up to the surface. From the bottom of the lake. Really fast. What are you thinking? Don't ever do that! As long as they were down there with a quick ascent from even 70 feet down, you've basically guaranteed them some terrible decompression sickness. And they were probably a whole lot deeper than that. I mean, sure, they were magically entranced, but as far as Harry knew, they were about to be left to drown. Why would the Triwizard Tournament worry about the bends? Maybe it was part of his test to see if he would save them, but then also permanently disable them. You thought Sectum Sempra sounded painful? Harry just pumped his friend's spinal cords full of nitrogen bubbles. He probably caused them unimaginable pain, permanent disability, and likely really bad brain damage. Decompression sickness. The cruciatus that keeps on excruciating. Thanks a lot, Harry. I know it's a weird line for me to draw for my suspension of disbelief for a scene that involves Grindylows and merfolk, but that scene is terrifying for a completely different reason than J.K. Rowling intended it. So I guess my point is, don't take your diving advice from books about magical teenagers at wizard school. Anyway, Hawaii's diving was some of the best I've ever done. Just feet below the surface of the water, the whole area was teeming with wildlife, and the water was so relaxing. I kept thinking of that scene in Catching Fire where they jump into the water and all of the poison just sort of seeps out of their skin. That is, it was relaxing for the most part. Fear of the water is one of the things that keeps people from scuba diving. Back to the Sword and the Stone, Merlin said, "The water world has its forests and its jungles too, and so it has its wolves and its tigers too." The thing that scares most people about the water is the same thing that scares them about the dark, their own imagination. If you can't see the bottom of the sea, then it could be infinite, hiding as many terrible creatures of as fantastic a size as your imagination can conjure, until you're bursting with images of titanic cephalopods, bloodthirsty sharks, and pinnacle predators lurking just beyond your field of vision. But I mean, really, there's no basis for it. Just like the dark, there's nothing to be scared of in the sea. Nothing's gonna pop out at you from the darkness, right? Everybody, I'd like you to meet Doug. He's a manta ray. I didn't name him. They actually have documented and named over 80 manta rays in those waters. Doug's about 10 feet wide, which puts him at 1,000 pounds. I don't care how stoic you are, nothing can possibly prepare you for the sight of a creature that weighs the same as a cow emerging from the inky depths and swimming directly at your face with its maw agape. But if you doubted that swimming can be just like flying, look no further. That's it for me. I'm off to rehearsal. I'm working on a really big project with my band. That's going to be a lot of fun as soon as it hits, but I can't tell you about it yet. 50 XP for watching. Peace and love. Higgity figgity biggity boom, prestidigitarium. Snick, snack, snorum.